of today's session. Okay, we started recording now, and our presenter today is going to present a very important topic. I think it's relating to all teachers. It's very important, and this is a subject in which we should all deeply interested in, because teaching vocabulary is a very big. Okay, our presenter tonight, dear kids, is a PhD holder. She has a PhD in teaching, and she has got her master degree in education, EFL, teaching English as a foreign language, curriculum and instruction. And that was in 2017. And she is a trainer development at British Council. That was 2017 too. And she has a translation diploma from that was 2014, and she is a graduate of the Faculty of Art, English Department 2013, and she has a special diploma in curriculum and methods of teaching English 2011, I'm sorry. And she has a professional diploma in a special education 2010, and she is a Faculty of Education graduate, English Department 2008. Of course, we have a great presenter. I'm not going to give you the name until you join me welcoming her, Dr. Omnia Ahmed. She's going to present a very important session about how to teach vocabulary. Dr. Omnia, welcome. Please join me welcoming Dr. Omnia. And please, Dr. Omnia, if you hear me, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
You can start.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mustafa, for your pleasant introduction. I really like that. Thank you very much. I pledged now. Okay, so let's start. Actually, the whole team are great people here. I think you gonna learn a lot from all the people, either Mr. Mustafa or Ms. Azza. We have Dr. Samah also. She will join you soon. Of course, Ms. Salwa and Ms. Samia. So the team is wonderful, and you're gonna learn a lot from them. So let's start our session for today. It's how to teach vocabulary, and let's see how to teach vocabulary. We have a main menu for teaching vocabulary. We have kind of steps. If we follow that step, we will fulfill to teach vocabulary, whether for young students or for young learners or for teenagers or adults. The first step is presenting new words. And the second one, it's helping students remember new words. And we will see how we can let our students remember these words. The third step, it's about making sure students make the new words their own. So not just we want the teacher to present the words and not just help the students to remember, but we also want the students to make use of these new words, and they put it in sentences from their own. And at the end, we're gonna have online resources. So let's start with the first step, which is, I'm sorry. Okay, which is presenting new words. So we can present new words by using visual images, and that will be great with the young learners, especially with the Connect 1, 2, 3. The young learners, they really like to see more, all right? So not just to tell them the vocabulary and the meaning of the word, but if you just show them the picture or any image, whether you draw it on the board or you show them some flashcards or even on the book. So everything leads to the same idea, which is visual images. The second one is I think there's a problem. Still, there's a problem here. Yeah, the second step is using gestures and actions. You know the TPR? What the meaning of TPR? It's total physical response. It's a methodology which is using gestures and actions. How can we use gestures and actions? You have an idea, guys? How can we use gestures and actions?
Please, if you'd like to share, you can ask for the mic, just raise your
You can
hand
unmute
or
your
write
mic.
in the chat box.
Yes, you can unmute your mic and start speak. How can we use gestures and actions inside the classroom?
Okay.
Yes.
If I wanted to present the word happy or sad, I'll just smile in order to present happy, or I feel that, or I show that I'm very sad by crying, or any other thing.
So you do not use Arabic here. You do not say the translation of the word. You just make some gestures and actions.
No, using Arabic is the last result.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Samia. And let me tell you, when you start to make and use these kind of gestures, let the students also imitate you, to copy you. If you said, like Miss Samia, when she said, okay, I imitate, or I act as that I'm happy or I'm sad, so you let your students feel that they are happy or sad also. So you the same gestures also that will make the classroom, it's vivid, alive. Everyone will like that. Okay, and the other one, we can have here words in context. Here, if we can use the words in context, this one it's with I'm not gonna say with all the students, but a little bit for the students who are in Connect 5, maybe Time for English 6 or prep school. It will be great if you use that words in context, so they can guess the meaning of the word within the context. And of course, showing lexical relationships, and we're gonna see about the lexical relationship, and guessing and predicting. For words in context, showing lexical relationship, guessing and predicting, all of these works more with the older or with the teenagers more than the younger students. And there are many other techniques than these. But let's first introduce one idea of each one, all right? And see how can we teach students inside the classroom. So about using visual images, like what? Like realia. What is the meaning of realia? How can we use realia inside the classroom?
Realia means real things. If I wanted to present some kind of fruit or vegetables, I may get some apples or bananas to the classroom, but it's for the younger or the youngest student, not the adult.
Yes. No, but sometimes we can use realia with adults, maybe. It's okay.
Okay, but it's very beneficial with
with the younger students. Yeah, with the younger students. Yes, especially when you start to use yes, like you said, they have in Connect 2 the vocabularies about fruits, vegetables, like you said. Maybe the parts of the body, when you start to show them their arms, their hand, their shoulder, like that. Also, when we use pictures, as we said, and if you are a talented teacher, why not your draw? Maybe a very small drawing, it will be beneficial for them. I remember that when they start to, at the end of the unit 1, There is a project in junior 3, maybe, yes, in junior 3. It asked the teacher and the students to draw a healthy lunchbox. So when you start to draw a healthy lunchbox, I start to draw that on the whiteboard with my students, and I couldn't draw how can I draw a chicken? So the little girls just go to the board and they start to draw it by themselves. So you're not the only one who can draw. You can let your students also draw, all right? And that's will make it.
You may have some talented students to have.
Yes. And actually,
Dr. Omnia,
yeah.
Dr. Omnia, I wrote the question. I typed the question, "What is realia?" on the chat box, and we have got some ideas. We have Fatma Gabriel says real objects as pens, notebooks, and pencils. But you have a question here from Mr. Khalid. He says, why can't we use the same way we introduce vocabulary in first language? I think he means to give them the meaning in Arabic.
Yes. Okay, can anyone answer that question when I say why not? I can. Miss Samia, she said a very good point. She said, okay, the last choice is using Arabic, but you can use Arabic, by the way, but it's the last choice. So why not can we use Arabic a lot inside the classroom?
Yes, if anyone wants to share, please raise your hand or write in the chat box.
You can just, yeah, you can just.
Dr. Omnia wants you to interact with her, okay? Please share.
Okay, but I think that Mr. Khalid, when he mentioned that.
Yes,
Miss. Okay, can I share what I think about?
Yes.
Okay. I think
yes, Dr. Sameh.
Even teaching words in Arabic has also techniques. Because if you are an Arabic teacher, it doesn't mean that you are going to say Saeed equal something. Okay, so you can just make lots of techniques to give them meaning through also context, give them examples, put in the word in sentences. So we are using the same techniques in Arabic as well as English. We are not separating them. It's not about the easiest input. You have to vary your ways as well. And because we are an English teacher, so we have to use the same techniques, try to put them in a context, to try to give them alternatives. For example, when you are saying the word happy is the opposite of sad, in the Arabic, you are doing the same. You are making your face happy, showing them that you are Saeed. And otherwise, you are going to make your face sad and give them the meaning of the word hazin. That's why we are making the same in English. There is no separation between the techniques for teaching vocab. Even if you are teaching Spanish, Arabic, Italian, they are the same. I think that.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Thank you, Dr. Sameh. And let me just add one thing. Let me spread the idea that out of the psychological studies, they said that if you just give the student the same meaning at the same time in the native language, all right, they will forget that. But if you just try harder and you said, okay, guys, I'm going to show you a picture of one kind of a fruit, and then you show them the picture, so the students will remember more. All right. And we want the students to remember more. So you can sing, you can draw, you can let them use the language. So when they start to repeat after me. But if I just write the idea or the translation, like apple, it's tufah, and banana, it's mouse. So there is no differences here. So
yes, that's why Fatma says to create the context for the students that of a native language. And also, Fatma Gabriel said to be accustomed to English. Exactly. And to introduce vocabulary within a context. Okay? Immersing students in that environment that their ears are accustomed to EFL. They will be able to process it faster with flexibility. That's great. Exactly. Okay, Dr. Omnia.
Exactly. That's why it's very easy not to use Arabic, but just use a visual image. If you cannot write, if you cannot draw well, if you don't have a lot of pictures or realia or flashcards, actually you can open the book and they just point at the picture, because the younger students, most of the books pages have a lot of pictures. So you just can point at it.
Yes.
I said, okay, apple, apple, vegetables, vegetables, like that. Happy, sad, sick, cough. Even the coughing, if you have unit 2, they have how do you feel? And they start to draw coughing, fever, even the fever. When the students see it, he said, ده عنده سخونية in Arabic, they say that. So they understand just when they saw the picture. So you don't have to use it. All right, so let's move on to using gestures and actions. And that is related to the idea or the methodology of TBR, which is total physical response. All right, and we have many kinds of action that we can do inside the classroom, like miming. What is the difference between the four? Miming, gestures, facial expressions, and actions. What is miming? All of
by miming,
yeah.
By miming, if I wanted to present a certain word to the student, I may act it or figure it out. I try to act it or try to draw in air, straw air,
yes,
okay, in order to make them grasp the meaning of the word.
Okay, what about gesture? Yes, Miss.
Gesture is my facial expressions, I think.
Okay, and what about the facial expressions? So let me say something. Everything of these, miming or gesture, facial expressions, or action, all of these are like acting, but we have differences between those. Yes, Miss Fatma, you can share your ideas.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. Omnia. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Pleased to meet you again. Actually, concerning miming, it's as if you are pronouncing the words, but without giving the voice into it, and they are looking at the lips while you are trying to utter that word without voice, and then they are now remembering it. That facial expression, as if, for example, frowning, and you make your here forehead like that with lines frowning, you know, that's facial expression, or expressing that you are unhappy with something, for example, that's facial expression, using face in order to express different feelings.
Yes.
And as for action here, that you are acting the scene itself, as if you're talking about someone running, you are making like that, or jumping, and while you are there in the place, making up and down, so on. These are some definitions of these words. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. When I say miming, you just can't say no. When you say no, okay, you don't say no. You just by your hand, you're raising your hand and saying no. All right, so they understand without, or maybe just by lips, like Ms. Fatma said. And gesture is the same, but facial expressions, it's mainly about your face and like she said, frowning or happy or sad, angry. And the action, this is a very big one. And if you use these kind of activities inside your classroom, please do not just do it on your own. Let the students do just like you. Let the students copy you. It will be great. I tried it more than once. Actually, I tried all the time. When I mime, when I make facial expressions, when I'm doing the action, all right, or if I'm clapping, if I'm trying to jump, I let my students also try to jump. If I raise my hand on the air, I let my students let them put their hands on the air, all right? All of that mixes alive inside the classroom vivid, and the students will have a great, they will have fun. So whenever your students feel that he is happy, believe me, he will learn very much. All right, so let's move on to the other one, which is showing lexical relations. And this one here, it could work with the young learners, but it definitely works with the grown up. So what is the meaning of synonym and antonyms? I think now it's synonym and antonyms. It was exclusive for the high school students, but now in middle 2 and middle 3, they start to include it inside their books, the synonym and antonym, if some of you teach for the middle class. And as for the young learners, yes, the books include the synonym and antonym, but without the word synonym and antonyms. They just do it the happy and sad. They start to use black and white, like that. Prefix and suffix also, it's included more in middle and high school students, all right? But we can all use these to show the meaning without saying the word in Arabic. All right, so give me an example for the synonym for young learners and how to teach young learners. All right, synonyms, like what?
Okay, maybe happy means glad.
Yeah, happy means glad, and you start to feel happy and show the students how to do that. Yes. What about the antonyms?
Maybe like sad and happy, tall and short, fast, slow.
Yes, wow, great. Collocations. Can we use collocation with the young learners?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
We can teach them like Happy Easter, Merry Christmas. All the words that come together, they are going to acquire them by using them more.
Yeah, that would be great for them. They just can memorize it very, very fast. All right, the prefix and
Yeah.
suffix.
Yes.
The
Plus,
prefix.
something important is that in Arabic they study the relations between words, so we can connect between Arabic and English using collocation.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ms. Hazza. I think in Connect 1, 2, 3, they use prefix and suffix, but they don't say that these are prefix and suffix. Like healthy, unhealthy. You can see that. Healthy, unhealthy, happy, unhappy. These are prefixes. But the books don't show that these are prefix and suffix. But in middle and the high school, they say that these are prefix and suffix. And all of that are helpful to teach students without saying the meaning in Arabic. When I say happy and I start to show that I'm not happy and I said happy, unhappy, it means sad. All right. So let's move to words in context. So here's these words in context. We can also do it with the young learners and with the middle and high school learners. Dialogues. I think the books starting from Connect 1 until high school students, they have dialogues. They have role play. They have drama, stories, not drama, but maybe stories, songs, poems, rhythm, videos. Yeah. So for the dialogues, it will be great if you use the dialogues as a role play. So the dialogues, I think in Connect 1 and 2 and 3, they have very, very small and short dialogues.
So please, there is side noise. If you please mute yourself.
Okay.
Whose mic is that?
Miss Dua, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you would like to speak, just unmute your mic and start to speak. All right? If you can hear me. Yeah?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the role play here is the most important one, because if you want to show your students some vocabulary inside the dialogue, so you can make it as a role play. Role play, it was also included in Time for English book in junior 6. The first lesson, it's also a dialogue. All the time, the first lesson, it's dialogue, conversation time. So whether they are in a restaurant, in a museum, whatsoever, so there is a dialogue between 2 or 3 or 4 people together. So how can you do that inside the classroom? You have not just to read it on your own, or just to pick up the or highlight the most difficult words for the students, But after you're doing that, you have to let your students role play it, because you have to include your students and involve them in the teaching. All right, not just, I don't know if you know the idea of TTT and STT.
Yes.
Yes, tell me about the STT and TTT.
TTT is the teacher
STT
talking
is
time, and STT is the student talking time.
Yes, Miss Hannah. So TTT, teacher talking time. So this means what? That the teacher is talking all the time. He's not giving the students any chance to do anything. And this idea, it's totally wrong. Actually, it's not healthy for you as a teacher, because when you start your lesson from the minute that you enter the class till after 45 minutes inside the class, you are only speaking. So that is a heavy burden on you. And second,
Yes, you are consuming your energy as a teacher.
yeah, if you enter another class, so about by the end of the day, you will you will feel like you don't have any energy to speak. And the second thing, that when you start to speak from the first minute till the end of the class, all right, this is not helping your students at all. This is not helping them. You think that they are helping. No, this is not, this is, you're not helping them. Why? Because you're not involving them inside the teaching. Tell me your opinion, Mr. Mustafa.
Sure. Yes. As a teacher, you don't have to talk a lot. Your job is to make your students act, think, make decisions, and think for themselves. This is your job, not to talk. You are not in a lecture for university students. They are young learners, and you need to make them think, act, speak, do the whole thing through you, of course.
Yes, exactly. So whatsoever we say, words in context, when we say dialogues, when we say stories, actually stories, students can perform stories and plays like Snow White. Um, I don't know, there are some kind of stories that they included inside their Connect book. Lots of stories, actually. So you
Yeah.
can give each one of your students a role, and they start to repeat the words more than once, all right? And that will help them to learn the new vocabularies inside the classroom. And guess what? They will be happy. And
Yes.
when they go home, they will start to open the book and start to read the role more than once, because they are happy to perform the play or the story, all right? Also songs, drama, it's for the middle and high classes, all right, and it's the same idea, but the vocabularies are advanced. So also some students make David Copperfield or Great Expectations, A Dollhouse, but this is with the uh, high school
High
students.
level, yes.
Yeah. Yes, Miss Azza, because you're a high school teacher. Tell me.
Yes. But I think Dr. Omnia that at the primary stage they have stories within their box. In the high level, they use how to analysis, how to think about the situations, how to take decisions and make decisions, and so.
Yes, exactly. And they can also make a role play. I saw it was in Zahran. I saw a play in Zahran school. All right. They were performing Macbeth. All right, and King Lear also, and some they have King Lear and the his three daughters, and each of the girls are making analysis and they start to act the scene memorizing a lot of words in order to act. So it's helpful. It's really helpful to let your students make a role play.
Yes, and by the way, in other subjects, they do the same technique, which we call dramatization of syllabus, اللي هي مسرحة المناهج. They take, yes, they take a lesson and change the whole lesson to a play or some kind of scenes to be acted. It's great.
Yes, it also could be in science, and I saw it in math. Each one they are talking about shapes. All right, I am the triangle. I have three angles, and they start to do like a drama like that. Yes, in math also. Yes, I saw that, Mr. Mustafa, also. Yes. So that makes your students learn the vocabularies very fast, and they love that. We don't want to force them. Don't force your students. Let them feel happy while they are learning. We have also songs, and of course, songs it works very well with the young students. All right, like lots of songs, head, shoulder, knees and toes, and some kind of that. The same for rhymes, the same for poems. All right, for advanced levels and videos. Videos, it's great, and we can see videos, some videos. If you do not have videos and you cannot show your students a video because your school is not prepared enough, actually everyone, maybe the young students, maybe in KG2, they have now a mobile phone. So you can just share the link. If you want to let your students see something, you can share the link on their WhatsApp group, and they definitely will see the video. If you cannot use it inside the school. Let's go for guessing and predicting. As for guessing and predicting, let's see that you cannot, I do not actually tell my students when they are in at school, if I don't know how to act it, draw it, or mime it, or make a gesture, I can let the students guess the meaning while they are reading the example. For example, when I say they were very pleased because they won the match. So the word pleased, what does it mean? So some of the students feel confused about it. They don't know. Maybe it's happy, maybe it's excited, maybe I can ask them the negative. When I say, okay, they were very sad because they won the match, say no. So they said happy. And I said, yeah, exactly. So pleased means happy.
Happy, yes.
Yeah. And the other thing, they can predict that. When I say Sarah missed the bus, so she arrived late. So what the meaning of missed the bus? So missed means what? You mean missed, it means I miss you, for example. They say no. Okay, so she arrived late. So why Sarah arrived late? She said علشان ما لحقتش الأتوبيس. I said, yeah, exactly. So missed, it means that. Actually, my students speak in Arabic if they can't know how to perform it in English. And of course, they will predict, of course, what will happen. I say, that's why she was, what the meaning of upset? They said she was happy. Said no, she was sad. So upset means sad. Yes, Miss Fatma, tell me your ideas.
Actually, I'd like to make a comment on that nice slide concerning the idea of context. Also here, we can say that one of the helpful things or strategies in order to help students consider the context is to look for keyword. Here, the keyword in the first example is the verb won. Won means what? They know won the match, okay? Then won the match will make them what? Pleased. So the keyword here is won. Another thing in example number 2, late. The keyword here is late. So late to what? Missing the bus and so on. The idea is making predictions or making guessings through using the clues or keywords here. This would be very helpful to develop their higher order thinking skills. You know, that's it. Thank you.
Wow,
it's very
that's
inspiring.
a great idea. Yeah, great idea, Ms. Fatma. Yes.
Thank you.
So
thank you. It's inspiring. Thank you. You have inspired me. Thank you.
Thank you. So I can, yes, like Miss Fatma said, yes, I can highlight the keyword like one and the keyword like late, and they will get the meaning or predict the meaning. Like I said, the first sentence, Sarah missed the bus, so she arrived late. So predict what will happen. She will feel. She was feeling what? She was upset. So upset means what? They say sad. All right. So actually, can we apply this with young students or high school students, or both?
I think both.
Yeah, both. Everything
Yeah,
could work.
because in CLIL syllabuses, like fourth year and third year and fifth year, the students need to guess the meaning through or learn new vocabulary through context. So you have it for junior classes, as well as, you know, the students in prep schools and secondary schools. It's like a routine for them. They need to guess the meaning of new vocabulary. And besides, when the only difference is that in higher levels of students, you'd get, you know, a complicated sentence with lots of new words, but they need to focus. Which one is more important and which one do I need to focus on guessing the meaning of? Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think every idea that we said today, it could work with young students and young learners, and it could work with advanced levels also. But it's about the idea, or how can you deliver the technique with your students. All right. So it works with everyone. So let's see here other techniques. Like what? Like using a dictionary, explaining, describing, defining the context, and translation. If you use one of these, please do share your experience with us. If you use a dictionary, I use a dictionary, but I will tell you how do I use it, but after I listen to your ideas.
Yes, colleagues, please share your ideas. Just raise your hand and take the mic or write in the chat box.
Yes, Miss Iman. Hello, Miss Iman.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, Miss Iman.
Nice to meet you, yeah.
We're
Hi.
so happy to have you, Miss Iman.
So pleased to have you with us.
I'm very glad to attend this session with the great mentors. Actually, nowadays, we are not using the ordinary dictionary, the paper dictionary. I'm using the online dictionaries and dictionaries on my mobile. And I think my students in the preparatory stage and secondary stage do that.
They use dictionaries on online dictionaries.
Online dictionaries and Cambridge and Oxford dictionaries are great on the online.
Yes, the question Dr. Omnia is asking about how they use it.
They use it when usually we have some expressions in the high level stage in the books like M High and so on. And nowadays in the preparatory stage, we have some definitions. We need to teach our students how to define the word, because they have that for exams. They are asked to define the word or to know how is the definition is written.
Okay.
For online words, certain online expressions, to find the meaning and the definition, to know how it is expressed in a whole sentence, not only giving the synonym or the opposite of the word and so on.
Okay, Miss Iman, as a teacher, do you use dictionary for other purposes other than definition? For example, for pronunciation, for grammar, or the function of the word?
Of course, inside my classroom, we usually have this argument about pronunciation of some words. Students hear them in songs or everywhere, or maybe they mispronounce them. I usually use my online dictionary for pronunciation. I check my pronunciation to let my students hear that online. This helps to give them some certificates about the pronunciation.
Okay, thank you. We have some ideas here on the chat box. Some say question again, please. Yeah, we can use visual dictionary,
yes,
pictorial dictionary,
Yeah.
This is an idea. And how do you use dictionary with your learners? This is the question that is a question. Fatma says, I like the idea of asking students to record nice phrases by writing down them in a separate notebook
Yes.
or at the end of their own notebooks to be a store for them helpful when writing. It's great ideas or writing or helpful when writing, yes. And also, Fatma, again, we use audio dictionary to pronounce. Okay,
Yeah.
Dr. Omnia.
Okay, well, I have an idea of course, like beside Miss Iman, she said, using online dictionaries, because lots of students right now they have online access to their through their tablets or through their mobile phones, but also that's with the that's not for the young learners. But for the young learners, actually, I do something opposite. I use a dictionary, not I use it, I let them make a dictionary, like Miss Fatma said, but I said that I want a separate classroom notebook, all right? And you can just draw or gather some pictures together. And I want you to form for me a dictionary of the new vocabulary that you have learned throughout the term, all right? And guess what, Mr. Mustafa? Most of the
Yes.
students they feel very much excited and they feel that they are doing something very funny for them because they are drawing, they using colors, they using a picture, they cut the picture and they use the glue and they put it inside their notebook, and then after the stick it in to their notebook, they write down the new vocabulary for them. So when I
Yes,
ask
of
them,
course.
you can open your dictionary, your dictionary, and tell me what do you have for me today. They said, okay, last night or yesterday I learned it cough, the word cough, and then they have a picture of someone is coughing. Or I have a fever, and they have a picture of someone who has a fever, or she's drawing something. All right. I think that
Yes.
one is applicable for with the young learners. Yes, Miss Ines.
Also, Ms.
Yes.
Ghada Hassan says we can make slideshow. You can ask the students to make a slideshow of their the words, the vocabulary. Thank you,
Yes.
Ms.
Actually,
Ghada.
Dr. Omnia, I wanted to share an experience of my colleague, Mrs. Nisreen Adil Anfushi, official school. She asked her students to go home and make a video for the things which they studied with her at the school, and to take picture for their mother when she prepare her lunchbox and the content of lunchbox, and to make a short video with their phone or and with the help
Mm.
of their mother, and they were very excited about this experience.
Great.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Azza. Ms.
Yes.
Ines, raising your hand, would you like to say something?
Yes. I want to
Yes,
have a
please.
comment on using the dictionaries in the classrooms. In fact, dictionaries are really useful for the meaning and function of words and for pronunciation, as you mentioned before. But also, I don't have to use them. I mean, I need to use them in a limited way because I need to elicit their to let them elicit the meaning through story, through situation,
Yes. It,
preferable
it, it,
than giving them the direct meaning through dictionaries.
Dr. Omnia, Ines wants to say that if we use dictionaries a lot, this means that we are going to give the students the direct meaning. And at the same time, you were talking about other techniques that help them to elicit the meaning.
Yeah, we said that not all we can use some of the words, some of the techniques. So we
Yes.
can use acting, we can use drawing, we can use singing, and if a
Yeah.
word that we cannot explain, like for example, when you say freedom or encourage, you want to teach your students the word encourage. How can we say that? So you can,
When
It's
in fact, I put them in situations.
yeah, exactly.
Create a short story, very short story, or situational two sentences, couple of
Mhm.
sentences, and they elicit the meaning very easily, and they feel
Yeah,
very happy when they get the meaning themselves.
yeah, and
okay.
that's we're moving to the second one, which is explaining. So if you're not using a dictionary, you can explain the word for them, like you said.
Yeah,
or
explaining or
yeah,
letting them elicit.
yeah, and if you cannot explain the word, you can describe it for them. All right, or you can defining the context, or you can translate it. Okay, see the word translation, the translating word, it's at the end. See, at the end, this is the last one, because if you cannot use all the other techniques that we said, the last option, like Ms. Samia said before, the last option is what? Is to translate it. Can we translate? Yes, we can translate. And I want someone who teaches high school students to give us his ideas and experience about translation inside the classroom. How can you use translation inside the classroom? Because the exam included a question of translation.
Please, if you got the question,
yes,
if you are a secondary,
can help us.
Okay.
Miss Salwa or Miss Azza, they can help us.
Just raise your hand if you have any idea about using translation in high school with high school learners.
Actually, because we study drama, and so sometimes we can select a quotation and ask them to translate it in a proper Arabic, not ordinary translation, put the feeling and how to write it in a teacher style, and they feel happy to do that.
Yes, Ms. Azza is talking about the translation question for secondary students. They have a text and they need to change this text to another language. I think
quotations from the drama, quotations from the drama, which is study.
Yeah. I think Dr. Omnia's question is how to use translation as a technique in teaching vocabulary, not as a question. If I understood the question right, Dr. Omnia.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
We need to know about your experience in teaching. Using translation as a technique.
Guys, we're here to share our experience. Okay. We're not just
when they are.
Yeah, tell us, Miss Salwa, please.
The first thing is to know your students' level, because it's going to be a bit difficult when you deal with very weak students who are unable or weren't taught how to use dictionaries, for example, to find the meaning of words and so on, and to translate them into another language. There's also the problem of students in secondary school not caring much about it, because now they are using tablets.
Yeah.
So you see, they don't need to think a lot or guess the meaning. They just, download dictionaries on their tablets, and they just, they keep writing the words in English and get the meaning in Arabic. But concerning, you mean, in your question, you're talking about when I, as a teacher, should translate the word into Arabic, for example?
Yes.
Is that what you mean? If that's the question, then if the word is a bit far-fetched for their understanding, for example, a word like serendipity, it's a bit difficult, even if it's explained in English.
Yes.
In this case, I'll try to give them the Arabic equivalent for it to be a little bit easier. The word utilitarianism, for example. These words are related to politics and so on, so the students find it a bit far-fetched to guess their meanings.
Even
in these cases, if I don't have time, I just give them the Arabic meaning for it, which is not very likable, and I don't like it. I don't prefer it. But because you're so, the time is so tight, and you have to finish your lesson.
No, and whenever you can explain it for them, Miss Salwa, they're not gonna understand it.
They don't understand it, even in English, and sometimes they don't even understand it in Arabic.
Yeah, when I just want to say that when I said in third year, they have decent life initiative, and I say initiative. How can I say initiative? And I said, okay, someone said in Arabic, it's mubadra. Okay, and the students ask what is the meaning of initiative? No, they said, what is the meaning of mubadra? They don't even know what the meaning of mubadra in Arabic. So you have to explain it in Arabic also. So that's why we have to use the translation. Yes, Miss Ines and Miss Fatma.
Yes, Miss Fatma.
Hello. I have 3 points here. When the words are very difficult and the concept is a little bit difficult for students to grasp it, so I here must resort to explicit way or direct way of teaching it. How to teach it or to give the meaning in Arabic? I have a nice cunning way of doing it. I can write 3 different meanings on 3 different separate papers, small ones, and asking them to choose the best meaning for that word in English. In such a way, they are not taking it in such a way which is so easily, but they are exerting a little bit efforts, guessing, and so on. So these, again, higher order thinking skills here playing a role to make them to make guessing of that. Even if they are going to choose from 3 different separate Arabic words, it will make them to think about the meaning. That's it. Also, I have another idea that is in the past, there was something, a small dictionary. I don't know if it's available now or not. It's from Arabic into English, and here I'm encouraging them to use the research skills here when they are looking for the word themselves and they are satisfying their own curiosity in such a way. They are exerting efforts and they will never forget that word. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Ines.
Yes, yes. I guess the translating here means the question that is included in secondary school. There is a direct question about translation.
Yes.
And
but
in order for them to answer this question or to get high marks in this part of the exam, of course, they have to practice translation as much as they can.
Yes.
Practice makes it perfect for them because translation is one of the, the highest level of English. They need to practice the 4 skills, particularly reading, and they need to read Arabic and English as well.
okay.
The common passages that are used in school and secondary schools, or even read the stories, simple stories.
Okay.
This will help them. 75% of the language is function words, and function words are translated in a common way. So if they get practice, get used to translate these function words, it will be much easier. Then the key words, they need to know their meaning. I mean they need to know the Arabic meaning in order to translate it.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay, thank you, Ines. We need to move on because we only have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to be okay.
Here, let me show you something which is I found it's very beneficial. It's from it's a flashcards. If you want to use a flashcard with your students, you don't just have to use it the same old way. There are many ways you can use the flashcards, and it's really exciting. So I found a very interesting video with the Macmillan book. So a Macmillan book print out a lot of flashcards, and here is a video. I hope the link works. You can watch how the teacher uses the flashcards in many ways, which is more effective. Hopefully the link works, inshallah. Mr. Mustafa, can you share the presentation, that the one on the Google Drive? It has the link.
That one doesn't have it.
Okay.
I'll try.
No. I'm gonna share it from my laptop. Just 1 second. I'm gonna try to share it from here. Okay. It's not working, or it's gonna work.
Okay, if it's not working, we can post it in the chat box and you can go on with your slides because time is ticking. We only have 15 minutes.
Okay, just 1 second.
Okay.
Here we go. Can you see or not?
We can see.
You can see the video?
Yes.
Great.
But we need to hear.
Can you see and hear now?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, great, great. So let's have a look about Macmillan.
When teaching primary children, flashcards are an incredibly practical and useful resource for teaching vocabulary. Here are some activities you can use. When introducing or revising a set of flashcards with the children, use the technique flash. Get the children's attention. Everyone looking this way, please. Are you ready? And then show them the flashcard very fast. Children, identify what's on the flashcard. It's an elephant. Yes, very good. Be ready to remodel or recast if they respond in their first language. An alternative way of doing this is to use the technique slowly. In this case, cover the flashcard that you're going to use and gradually reveal the picture. Children, identify what's on the flashcard as soon as they can recognize it. It's a giraffe. Yes, very good. Do an initial flashcard activity with the children. Stick the flashcards on the board. Get the children to repeat the words. Elephant, giraffe, whale, zebra, ostrich, tiger. This activity is called What's Missing. Ask the children to close their eyes and cover their eyes with their hands. Demonstrate this. Remove one of the flashcards from the board and hide it behind your back. Ask the children to open their eyes and say what's missing. It's the whale. Very good. Play Magic Eyes. Stick the flashcards that you're going to use in a row on the board. 6 is a good number to use, as this is within the number that children can retain in their short-term memory. Get the children to repeat the words with you in a rhythmic way. So, zebra, tiger, elephant, ostrich, whale, giraffe. And zebra, tiger, elephant, ostrich, whale, giraffe. When you think the children are doing this confidently, remove the first flashcard and continue in the same way. Zebra, tiger, elephant, ostrich, whale, giraffe. Zebra, tiger, elephant, ostrich, whale, giraffe. Remove the second flashcard in the same way and repeat the sequence with the children again. Can you do any more? Yes, we can. Remove the next one. Zebra, tiger, elephant, ostrich, whale, giraffe. Now, in a little simple activity like that, you're helping to train children's memory. Children, you're encouraging children to have a visual representation of the image and to associate it with the word. Do a lip reading activity. Stick the flashcards on the board. Get the children's attention. Everybody looking this way, please. Are you ready? I'm going to say one of the words and I want you to tell me what it is. Are you ready? Elephant. Very good. With a little activity like that, you're actually giving children a strategy which is very helpful when you're learning a foreign language. Because if you look at people's lips when they speak, it can help you understand what they say. Make up little flashcard riddles using other language and vocabulary that's familiar to the children. For example, it's big and grey. It's got a trunk. What is it? The elephant. Very good. What about this one? It's got black and orange stripes. It's very fierce. What is it? Tiger. Very good. In an activity like this, you're putting the lectures in a context of other language they already know. Use the flashcards to play an action game. I call this one flashcard groups. Divide the class into groups of 3 to 5 children. Assign each group a flashcard. For example, group 1, your giraffe. Group 2, your ostriches. Group 3, your whales, and so on. Give the groups instructions in the following way. For example, touch your nose, tigers. Wave your hands, ostriches. Put your hands on your head, elephants. When you give instructions, it's important to say the instructions first and the flashcards second. In this way, the children will keep listening until they know whether the instruction applies to their group. You can also increase or decrease the level of challenge depending on whether you do the action yourself as well or not. For example, if you touch your nose, it's much easier for the children to follow than when you don't. Another action game with flashcards I call hands on heads. In this activity, divide the class into 2 teams. In the team on this side of the classroom, assign them 3 or more flashcards. The team on the other side of the classroom, assign 3 or more different flashcards. The activity works in the following way. Children listen out for the words that belong to their team and respond by putting their hands on their heads. So are we ready? For example, tiger, giraffe, elephant, whale, and so on. As children gain in confidence in responding, you can speed up how fast you say the words. The 2 activities, flashcard groups and hands on heads, give children an opportunity for moving. Flashcards are also useful for practicing simple interaction patterns. In this activity called flashcard chains, ask the children to sit or stand in a circle with you. Have the flashcards you're going to use ready for the activity. Use the first one by passing it to the child on your left and asking the relevant question. For example, do you like zebras? The child responds, yes, I do, or no, I don't, and passes the flashcard to the child next to them in the circle and asks the question in the same way. When the flashcard you first introduce is about 3 children away from you, introduce the next flashcard to the child on your left in the same way. Do you like tigers? The child again responds, yes, I do, or no, I don't, and asks the child next to them, passing the flashcard round the circle in the same way. When all the flashcards you're using in the activity have gone round the circle and back to you, the activity ends. This activity provides children with multiple opportunities to practice the language they're learning. Flashcards can be useful to revise vocabulary from several different lexical sets. In this activity called Kim's Game, stick 12 to 15 flashcards from different lexical sets on the board. Explain to the children that you're going to give them 1 minute to look and remember all the flashcards that are there. Make sure that the children are silent during this time and that they all have their pens down. Say, "Are you ready? Go," when you're ready to time them. After a minute, say, "Stop," and remove the flashcards from the board. Once you've taken the flashcards off the board, ask the children to work with a partner and write down as many of the words as they can remember. Check the answers, and if you like, children can also categorize or classify the cards. For example, these are animals, these are clothes, these are toys, these are food. It's up to you whether you choose to focus on the spelling, and if you do, as an alternative option, you may like to use word cards instead of or as well as the flashcards. Flashcards provide a flexible and enjoyable resource for teaching vocabulary in the primary classroom. It's important to keep up a pace when you do these activities and to keep them short and varied. I hope you and your children enjoy using some of these ideas in your classes.
Here we go. I hope you have a great ideas from this video. Actually, I have a training course in a lot of international schools, and I found that most of the teachers there are using this kind of flashcard techniques, especially with the British Council. So I hope it was helpful. You can use it actually with the younger students. And I just want to thank you, everybody. I just want to know if you have a comment about this video, which is the most one that you feel interested about, and you're going to use it inside the classroom.
Yes, hello everyone. Dr. Omnia wants to know what ideas have you got out of this audio and you are going to apply them in your classroom. Please raise your hand and share your ideas.
Just one idea.
Just one idea, yes.
What about you, Mr. Mustafa? Tell us.
For me, I am a big fan of using flashcards because I do believe that using flashcards is a very effective way in teaching vocabulary, and it could also be used in teaching structure and grammar, by the way. But sticking to the topic, I think I like very much the idea of dividing the students into groups and giving them names of animals or fruits or whatever, and ask them to raise their hands if they are an apple or an elephant. Okay, put your hand on your head if you are a giraffe. It's fantastic because it includes learning, listening skills, and also doing things. Total physical response, as you said.
Yeah, total physical response again. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for being here and there. And these are some kind of the online resources that you can use it. It includes a lot of tips and techniques for teaching vocabulary. There are many games and puzzles and quizzes. You can double check these kind of links. And maybe next time, I'm gonna show you some of the online resources and the games that you can use online with the students. Thank you very much. I hope it was a beneficial one. And okay, let me see if you have a question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Omnia. Really, it was more than beneficial. I enjoyed it personally, and I hope everyone who listened and shared enjoyed it as well. We have 10 minutes for question. If you need to ask Dr. Omnia about anything relating to the topic, okay, just raise your hand or take the mic. If you don't have questions and you would like to say your comments, your insight about the session, just okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mustafa. You can just inform them about the next session meeting, inshallah.
Of course, next Sunday, inshallah, at 8 o'clock p.m., we are going to have another great session with Ms. Azza.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will enjoy it as well.
What will be the topic, Mr. Mustafa?
No, we are not going to talk about the topic. It's a secret.
Oh my God.
Please pay attention to the form of feedback.
Yeah,
Please fill in.
We need to keep you on your toes until next time, inshallah.
Okay, guys, please fill in the form of attendance. Make sure to fill in the form of attendance, please.
Yeah, don't forget to fill in the form.
We share it at the chat box. We share it at the chat box.
And I just want to remind you that if you fill the attendance form, you are going to have a certificate, attendance certificates, at the end of the whole sessions. Okay, it would be 100 training hours session certificate. I'm sorry.
Inshallah.
What about any session that we couldn't attend?
It will be counted according to the percent you attended. You are going to have your maybe 90 hours, maybe
Yes,
85
70,
hours.
Yes, 70, I think, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Mr. Mustafa. Thank you a lot for you and for your colleagues. Thanks,
You are
Dr.
welcome.
Really so beneficial session. May God bless your effort and waiting eagerly for the next session, God willing.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. See you next time, inshallah.
You don't have any questions? See you next time, inshallah. Bye bye.
Okay, salam.
Assalamu alaikum.